Hey y'all, welcome to the first episode of Unmuted. So let me tell you something. I have recorded this episode. This is the third or fourth time now. The first time I just didn't like it. And then the second time I actually really liked it. But now that I'm doing it this time, I'm doing this several weeks later. And the reason why is because I realized the direction that this podcast was going in was not correct. So, just a quick background on me. I am Toriel. I am a career and leadership development coach, and I've been doing this for a decade now. Crazy. Never knew that this is what I wanted to do when I grew up, right? And so I initially started this podcast because I was like, all right, let me document my time looking for a job because I'm looking for a new job. And so many things have transpired since then, just emotionally and everything. And this podcast became more of like a diary slash job search journal. And I realized that's just not the direction I want to go in anymore. Because, and if you followed me for a little bit, you know that I've been doing like job search stuff and showing you how to do resumes and cover letters, interview skills. And yeah, I'm not doing that no more. Um, the thing is, I have evolved. I've evolved in my career, in my thinking, in my ideologies, and everything. And I am not a generic career coach. I'm really not. I have multicolored hair most of the time. I don't cater and coddle to white culture in corporate world. Like you're gonna get what you're gonna get. I even said in an interview once that I'm dope. Like I don't care about none of that, right? I don't play these little reindeer games. So I'm definitely not your generic career coach. But I slipped into generic topics. And a lot of what I do behind the scenes with my paid clients are things like identity work and understanding what you want to be known for in your industry and just different topics that really go past the generic job search like strategy. And you can have all the strategy in the land, but quite honestly, if you don't fix what's going on inside your mental, you're not going to be able to get far, or at least it's going to take you a minute to get there. And so, what I really want to talk to you today about is about Delulu being the Solulu. But Evolulu Delulu needs to be the Solulu. And what I mean by that is, I want you, anyone listening, even myself, to let go of these confinements that people put us in, right? Black women, women of color, women in general, we get told what we should be doing, all the shoulds in the land, right? Like you should become this and you should go and get this degree or this certification, all these shoulds. And I find that we women, especially women of color, find it so difficult to let go of these standards, let go of who we've been, and are so afraid to evolve. But it's in the evolution that I feel that you become who you're supposed to be. And don't get it twisted, I don't believe in failure. There are certain times where it's like, I wish I could have done better at something, or I could have done something differently, or whatever the case may be. But failure isn't a thing for me. And partly because, well, really mostly, really all the way, because I'm a child of God. And God doesn't fail. So because I'm God's child and God has plans for me, none of God's plans fail for me either, right? So whether you believe in God, the universe, Buddha, whatever you believe in, whatever your ideology is, that's fine, right? That's not the point here. But the point is, I don't believe in failure. I believe that you are exactly where you need to be, when you need to be it, how you need to be it, why you need to be it, all of that stuff. And so I think that it's really difficult sometimes when we want to hold on to our old identity and want to hold on to what we used to do and where we used to be and how we used to act and the things that we even used to do at work. when really your inner self is calling for an evolution. And it's in that evolution that things begin to truly take place in your career. And so the theme of this podcast is all about, well, really my three pillars. Identity work, right? Who you are, what you want to be known for, how you want to make a name for yourself in your space. And so if you are someone who is just like, I don't really care about doing that, like that's not really what I'm here to do, no problem. I don't know that you're going to like this podcast much. You might, so stick around still. Check it out. If you don't like it, well, thanks for coming, right? But overall, I really want you to understand that you don't have to be what society says you have to be. And it's okay to grow beyond where you are. It's okay to strive for more. And I don't mean going out and becoming the Thanos of freaking certifications, right? Like you don't gotta collect all them, boo. Put put the certifications down. You don't gotta do that, right? But what I mean is understanding how you want to be seen in your field, what you truly want to do, right? Having those bold and audacious goals and plans, and not just sticking to the norm just because you've been taught to just do your work and put your head down, right? And that's how you're going to succeed. Newsflash, that's just not the truth, right? For some privileged people, that is true. They can just exist, do the bare min, and then they get promoted. But for women of color, that's not typically the case. Women in general, but especially women of color, right? And I always quote him, but like Papa Pope said, you gotta be half as good, you gotta be twice as good to get half as much, right? So really understanding how to up level your professional identity. Right, that's one thing I'm going to talk about in this podcast. The other thing I'm going to be speaking about a lot is your language and the impact that you make. Right, and what I mean by that is this. A lot of us, black and brown women, are on the front line in our jobs. Right, we are the ones who a lot of the responsibility is put on our back. And because of how we're just naturally positioned as people, we tend to take on things, right? Like we'll put it on our back and we're like, yep, I got it. And one thing that really resonated with me a couple months ago was a meme that I saw, and it was a woman that looked like Whitney Houston. It was a drawing, and she was like, I am not every woman. It's not all on me. Anything you want done, baby, you could do it yourself. And let me tell you something. I see memes all the time. Like, we are in the age where we're always on social media, right? But that is the one that really stuck with me because that's just us in a nutshell. That is black women. Like, we really do put things on our back and we hold it. And we're like, yeah, I'm going to carry the team. I got us. But then when it comes down to promotional conversations, when it comes down to being the person who gets the high level projects and things like that, we're often not considered. And so that's what this podcast is here to teach you about, how to use the correct language and how to show the impact that you've made throughout your career and the place that you're at now, different things like that, so that you can position yourself for that promotion, for those high level projects. And then the last thing I want to talk about on this podcast is about visibility. And that's schmoozing. That's all about getting in with the right kind of people. And I'm not talking about your regular degular networking. I personally don't do it for myself. I don't got time for that. Like, that's just not who I am. I don't really want to talk to people like that other than for things that I like to talk about, i.e. this podcast, right? Or i.e., talking to people, helping my clients, things like that. But as far as the networking piece goes, I just don't network. For my industry, that's not really that hopeful. It can be, but listen, anyway, I just don't do it, right? But I mean, even as far as internally networking and understanding the type of people that you need to be visible to. Because even if you don't have conversations with these people on a regular, they still need to know what kind of impact you're making. So it's understanding even how to get to those people, how to speak to those people, how to not be a wallflower and put yourself out there for those people, right? And for those opportunities. So that's all in kind of just like a one little kit and caboodle on what the podcast is going to be about. And quite frankly, that's how all of my things are going to be about going forward. Like, it's crazy. And I'm going to release some of the episodes that I've recorded while I've been job searching because it's relevant to y'all, just not all of them. But even in this last month, it's literally just been a month and 2 weeks, maybe. So 6 weeks ish since I started looking for a new job and all of this stuff for real, for real. And it's been insane how my evolution has changed. Like, it took getting fired from a job that was 2 levels below where I actually wanted to be, or actually should be, and didn't even like, hated going there every day. Like, it took being fired from that for me to get my Lean Six Sigma certification. It took me being fired for me to understand even what I want to do with my career. Like, yeah, I love being a business owner. I really and truly do. And maybe one day I'll go full time with it. But quite honestly, I love being a corporate girly. Like, I love being able to be in my industry because it helps me even with my clients. But I didn't realize exactly what I wanted to do in my industry. Like, I just knew that I wanted to coach and I knew I wanted to like do really good things, but I didn't know the full extent of what I want to do. And if you watch Game of Thrones, I want to be the breaker of chains within career and workforce development. I want to be the one to help restructure how it is, because if you've ever been to a back to work program in the US, at least I don't know about other countries, but here in the US, they freaking suck. And I've lived in two major states, New York and California, where you would think they have really good resources for things like that. And New York is a bit better. I'm also biased, but like, truly and honestly, New York really does have more resources for career stuff. But anyway, I have worked at multiple places in these states and they freaking suck. They do not give people the results that they need. And a lot of these programs, and this is what I hate about this industry, a lot of these programs will hire people who have transferable skills, which, sounds good on the surface, but they don't really care about the mission. They don't really care about perfecting their craft. They don't really care about helping people get into good careers. And so they'll do half-hearted work and leave people who have freaking high-level degrees and get the maintenance jobs. What are we doing here? What are we doing with this? How is this going to help pay their bills? Right? And so this whole evolution of mine that I've been fighting for maybe a year now, and I didn't even realize it, has made me realize what Delulu is a solution. Delulu is a Solulu really means. And this is how you can tell I'm a millennial, not a Gen Zer. That's not really a phrase that I say very often. However, it makes sense to me now, because I'm realizing how much of a GOAT I want to be in my field. I'm realizing that I want my name out there, that I want people to associate me with being the one who changes how processes work within career and workforce development. I want to be known as that go-to. I want to be able to walk into organizations that I've never heard, that I've never worked with before, and they know my name. Like, it's crazy how much of an evolution I've been on. And by me not fighting this evolution, things have opened up for me that I didn't even know would open up for me. And even now, as I'm still job searching, but I'm also planning my 6-month promotion readiness course not a real course, a program that I didn't even know would evolve into the way that it's evolving. Like, this whole period of time in my life right now was all about evolution. And not only do I want to take you guys with me, but I also want to teach you how to do it for yourself. And I'm just really excited because I feel like this is exactly where I needed to be when I needed to be. And yes, it's taking a lot of healing. And part of it too Well, I'll get into my story a little bit later. But anyway, the point is, I am so glad to be where I am right now. And I'm so glad that you're here with me, listening, learning. And listen, I am an open book. If you want to reach out, tell me, something that's helped you through this, or ask me questions, follow-up questions, all of those kind of things, you can reach out to me via LinkedIn. You can email me. All that information will be in the show notes. So I'm excited about the direction of this podcast. Like I said, I'm still going to release some of the older episodes because it's still applicable. But yeah, I'm freaking excited. Let's freaking go. Like, if you've been following me for some time now, you've heard me say that. But if not, that is one of my several catchphrases. Let's freaking go. So listen, thank you so much for tuning into episode 1, take 3. And I can't wait to give you guys more. Bye.